What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Life's a Garden. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe and follow on all platforms. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. When you're done with that, be a friend, tell a friend. Share this podcast with somebody you think might enjoy it. It really helps us out, and I very much appreciate it. Today's positive, motivational message is introduce some fun into your life. If you're the type of person that is constantly grinding, is bogged down with stress, or maybe you're just boring and don't do anything at all, I guarantee it's wearing on your mental health. And a great way to relieve that is have some fun. Do something fun for you. Bring a little joy into your life. It will cleanse the soul. Fun is great for your mental and it is great for your soul. So do me a favor. Get your ass off the couch. Let go of some of the stress that is weighing you down. Take a break from the hard work that you're doing, whatever it might be. Step aside, step out of that, and just do something fun for yourself. That's the message this week, and we're going to have a little fun right now by getting in to today's episode. It's episode 264 of Life's a Garden. All right, everybody, welcome on back into a brand new episode of Life's a Garden. Thank you all so much for joining me, as always. Appreciate you if you are a long-time listener, and welcome on in if you're a first-time listener. Hope you enjoy it. I don't know if you could tell at the end of that intro, my gears turning, trying to remember how many episodes it was. Of course, I forgot. So we're going to go ahead and clip in the actual number of episodes that we have. And I think that might be a little funny anyway. So, yeah, get out there and have some fun. And let me tell you right now, here's a good start, okay? Because for the last time, this is the week that this is the last week I can tell you, please come on out to my band Courtthroat, along with Render Me Silent, Bloodless, and Pine Box Radio. We are all playing down at the Pub Station this Saturday, September 6th. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7. We got 4 great local bands. Come on down, support local music. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great time. We've worked very hard promoting the show, hustling tickets, just the preparation, the practicing, everything that's gone into this for this show will be worth it. And like I said, we've all worked very hard to make this come to fruition and to get it as big as it has. And we're very thankful to everybody who has purchased tickets so far. We hope everybody has a great time on Saturday night. And the hard work's done. We've basically done all the hard work. Now the easy part comes, and that's performing. And anybody who isn't a musician always thinks, that's the hard part. It's hard to get up there and do your thing. And to an extent, yes. It takes a certain, tenacity, or what's the word I'm looking for? Courage is one thing. Obviously people have stage fright, things like that. But when you've put in the work, when you've practiced, and you hone your craft, and you trust your bandmates, you trust the process, you trust your work that you've put in, it makes it easy. And honestly, the performance part is the fun part. Once you getting there, getting to that point, that's the tough shit. Once you're up on that stage and the lights are on you and the sound is going, you don't even think about, some mistakes that are going to happen. And there always are. We always make some small mistakes here and there. And I think most bands maybe do. And a lot of times you don't even notice. The bands are going to notice because you know that it's incorrect. But that's I've fucked up. I make mistakes all the time. I'll forget lyrics that I wrote. Sometimes I'll come in a little early, or I'll be a step late at some point. Sometimes I'll be off key. Shit happens. But you don't think about it in the moment. You're feeding off the crowd. And let me tell you, with what I know of this crowd, how big it's going to be, how many people are going to be there, it's so much different. So much different to perform in front of a larger crowd. Because you're getting more reaction, you're getting more feedback. It's easier to feed on a room full of people rather than, a full room with like half people. If even that. If 20, 30 people. That's hard. It's really hard. And you'd think, more people, more eyes on you, the more nervous you're going to get. Quite the opposite, actually. The more people I see out in the crowd, the more confident I get. Because, you're not going to please everybody. Not everybody's going to just love what you're doing up there. But the majority of them are. And I'm not looking at the ones that don't like it. I can only see the ones that are pumping their fists and jumping up and down and singing along, screaming and having a good time. Those are the ones that I see. And when I see that, it's so much easier to perform and have energy on stage and interact with the crowd. I'm so looking forward to this. As I said, put in a lot of work. We've hustled a lot of tickets. We've just promoted and put some money into promotion. It's been a good, long journey, about a month and a half, I think. And finally, we're reaching the finish line. And that's the funnest part. So, if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, please come out, enjoy the show with us. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great time. So, hey, if you've never heard my band before, if you've never heard any of these other bands, if you have heard my band, but you haven't seen any of these other bands, I can verify all of them are fantastic, and nobody's going to hold any punches when it comes to putting on a good show. So, this could be a very, very, very fun night of local music. Plus, you're supporting local artists. I mean, what could be better than that, right? And you'll have some fun. So there's your you can check that off the positive motivational message for the week. Got a lot of fun shit happening this weekend. Oh, before I get into the rest of the weekend, I do want to mention we did play a show last Monday at Craft Local. And unfortunately, that was one of those situations where there wasn't a ton of people there. Thank you to everybody that did come out, of course. Like, I don't care if it's 10 people or 100 people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always appreciative to anybody who takes the time out of their day to come hang out. I just felt bad for the other bands because they were really good and they deserved to have more people listening to them. I had a great time. Met all the guys in the band is called Hickoids. Very interesting genre. They called themselves cowpunk, so it's like kind of rednecky punk stuff, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. I just felt bad that, it being on a Monday, it's not really like prime time to go out for a show, especially right after the weekend when everybody's exhausted from all their fun activities over the weekend. But regardless, had a good time. Always a pleasure to play and to perform. So just wanted to shout out for Craft Local and to everybody that helped put that show on. Shout out to Wonderlick and Hickoids. It was a pleasure to play alongside you guys, and hopefully we can do it again someday. Hickoids from Texas is where they're from. All good, all really cool guys. Met them all. Super, super nice. And, yeah. So, that was just a little update on that show. Yeah, had a great time. This is what I mean when because I watched some videos of the performance, and I'm just up there kind of stiff as a board, because I'm kind of just, when there's not a lot of stuff going on the crowd, and everybody's sitting down, yes, I know it's my job to, like, try and get you to come do that, but there's only so many times I can be like, come on, guys, get off your seats and come party with us, you know? And I know half the time whenever I do that shit, it never works. So it does get to be difficult in that situation, and it really does affect your energy level on stage. But I'm telling you, with what I know this crowd's going to be on Saturday, energy levels are going to be through the roof, and we're going to fucking tear the roof off. So, again, come on down. Pub station. It don't get bigger than the pub station. Like, I'm stoked. I'm so stoked. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Oh, of course. Speaking of fun, speaking of the most fun that anybody could possibly have, besides the thrill of playing live music, my second love, just next to music, football's back, baby. Football is officially back. And it started off with a electrifying weekend of college football. So we'll start off talking some college football here, okay? Had quite a few upsets take place. We had a lot of really good matchups, to be honest with you. I don't even know if I would consider Ohio State beating Texas as an upset, considering Ohio State is the defending national champions. Do they have a new quarterback? I don't remember now. I think, whatever. Regardless, every team every year in college goes through giant facelifts and has different players that go on to the NFL, and then you have to recruit and replace and all that stuff. Texas was ranked number 1 coming into the season, which I think is funny considering, you know, like I said, Ohio State just won the championship. Should they be ranked number 1? And they proved that they should, and that they are going to be coming into this week. But it was in Ohio. Arch Manning, first real start in college football. There's a lot going on there. You know, both teams have great defenses. It was kind of a boring game, to be honest with you. There's all this hype around Arch Manning. He kind of flubs his debut, and everybody's kind of giving him shit about it. I think it's way too early to write that ship home, you know. I believe in Arch Manning. I think he'll bounce back, and he'll still have a great season. That's just definitely like the hardest way to start a season. But on the real upset note, fucking Florida State, unranked Florida State, beats number 8 Alabama. What a game. That might have been the best game I've seen that I saw all weekend. It's just electrifying, non-stop action. Like, whenever you have a powerhouse, a blue blood like Alabama, and then Florida State is a historical program as well. They've just gone through quite a few rough years as of late. That's a huge win for a Florida State team. And you kind of love to see the upsets. I particularly love seeing Alabama lose because Alabama's kind of the Patriots of the college football world. Not really lately, but, you know, historically, or at least in my lifetime, they've always been like the dynasty team. So it's always fun to watch them lose, of course, you know, unless you're an Alabama fan. I love rooting against Alabama. But yeah, that was a great game, and congratulations to Florida State. LSU beat Clemson. Clemson, I think, was ranked 6 or 7, and LSU was ranked 9. LSU beats Clemson. Okay, first of all, didn't realize until this year that, you know, both Clemson and LSU are the Tigers. I knew that. But I didn't realize, while they are both the Tigers, both of their stadiums are known as Death Valley. So who the fuck's copying who? Because that is too many coincidences to not be on purpose. Your team name is the Tigers, and your stadium is Death Valley, the only two in the league like that. So this was the Battle of Death Valley, and this one took place in Clemson. And LSU goes into Clemson and defeats them. Clemson is one of those teams that a lot of analysts are high on this year. A lot of people think that they're on their comeback because they had a couple of great years, won a couple of national championships, and then they kind of have fallen off the last 4 or 5 years. Pretty much since the last time they went to the national championship, they lost, and that was to LSU. And that was the last time that those two teams had played each other. So that was a good game as well. And then, of course, last night, I guess 2 nights ago, as of the release of this show, my Notre Dame Fighting Irish came up short against the Miami Hurricanes. Absolutely fucking hate the Miami Hurricanes. So that one is salt into the wounds. That one's just a swift kick in the nads, losing to a team that I dislike. But overall, it was a great game. Like, it was a very well-fought game. They were up by like 10 points with 4 minutes left, and Notre Dame marched back to tie the game up, only for them to hit a game-winning field goal with like 16 seconds left on the clock. Congratulations to Miami. I mean, 2 top 10 ranked teams. I think Notre Dame was ranked 6, and Miami was ranked 10th. So another week 1 matchup of top 10 teams going at each other, and it lived up to it. It was a great game. Not the result that I was looking for, but still, great first week of football. I literally all day Saturday, I just watched college football. That's all I did all day. And I don't regret a second of it. And let me tell you right now, this Sunday I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. I will be sitting and watching NFL from 11 o'clock till the end of Sunday Night Football, which would be like 9 or 10 o'clock. I will be there all day. And my Labor Day weekend starts next weekend, because your boy had to work yesterday on Labor Day. So, I'm taking my day off next week, which is just perfect timing, to be honest. Also, by the way, I hope everybody had a great Labor Day. Hope you had a nice 3-day weekend. I didn't get one. I had the 2 days off like standard. Next weekend is my 3-day weekend, and I cannot wait. Because Saturday is our show. Get to play some music. Sunday, week 1 of football. Broncos are back. And rest on Monday, because those 2 days are going to kick my ass. It could literally, like, my endorphin rush for this weekend could not be any higher. It's all the things I love. It's going to be like one of the greatest weekends of the year for me. I'm so excited. It could not happen any better. So yeah, Monday, I am very much looking forward to a break day. That's going to be the day that I just chill out. Now, NFL football. Let's get into it. Let's talk some NFL football. Predictions. Let's do some predictions for this whole week. Okay? I'm just going to run down the games. Oh, first of all, before I even get into the predictions, got all my fantasy football teams locked and loaded. 4 fantasy football teams, to be exact. I'm not going to go through all of them here for you, of course, but one of my teams is called Courtthroat. Thought that was clever. Cortland Sutton, my boy right here, and my band name. Now this one I'm a little suspicious of because I have 2 suspended guys, so I was taking a little bit of a risk in this one. Also, check this out. Found myself a very nice sleeper. I think Nick Chubb is going to be a sleeper this year. So, be on the lookout for Nick Chubb. What else do I got? Austin 3 Nix Teen, because I have Bo Nix on my squad for this one. Let me just go through the quarterbacks that I have drafted. I have Bo Nix. I have Baker Mayfield. I have Joe Burrow in one of my leagues. And who is the other one? Oh, Jaden McDaniels. So I'm pretty stoked about my quarterbacks, to be honest with you. I got Saquon Barkley in a couple leagues. I got Courtland Sutton in a couple leagues. Broncos defense in a couple leagues. For the most part, I tried to get different players, but you got to get some of the same guys. Because if you're playing all different players, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you're always going to be playing against somebody that you have, if that makes sense. Like from the other team. You're going to be rooting for them to do good and bad at the same time. It just doesn't, it's not a good mix. So those are my fantasy teams and fucking right on. There's, the other one. The other team name I came up with. So I have Derrick Henry, and his nickname is King Henry. So of course I named that one King Henry of the Hill. Had to do it. All right, let's go with the NFL week and see what the predictions will be. Week 1 NFL game predictions. I'm not going to give you any bets, any overs or unders or nothing like that. I'm just going to give you the straight up who I think is going to win. All right, let's get started. Thursday Night Football, Cowboys, Eagles. Eagles are taking it. Coming off the Super Bowl, it's banner night. Very rare that the home team on opening night loses in this particular game. Great rivalry game, taking the Eagles. Chiefs, Chargers, that is in Brazil. I expect this to be a very sloppy, low-scoring game because I have a feeling that the turf is going to be shit. They're not going to be used to the, the environment there. I still think the Chiefs come out on top. But if the Chargers upset them, it wouldn't upset me, and B, it wouldn't shock me. I'm still taking the Chiefs. Dolphins, Colts might be one of the worst games this week. I'm taking the Dolphins, though. I don't think the Colts have it. The Dolphins are a fucking mess, but you know what? We'll see what happens. Steelers, Jets. Gotta go with the Steelers here. This is the Aaron Rodgers revenge game against the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers comes out fucking on fire. Not to mention, Justin Fields is on the Jets, who played for the Steelers last year. So that's an interesting matchup, actually. But the Steelers' defense is just too good. Panthers, Jaguars. Here's an upset for you. I'm taking the Panthers to beat the Jaguars. The Panthers are my sleeper team of the year. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs necessarily, but it wouldn't shock me if they snuck into a wild card. I think the Panthers are going to be significantly better than what they have been the last couple years. I think Bryce Young finally breaks through. Panthers are going to beat the Jaguars. Cardinals, Saints. Saints are absolute trash. One of the worst teams in the NFL. Got to go with the Cardinals here. Giant, and that's the game between my nephew and his dad. They're two teams. Giants, Commanders. This will be a fun one. Rivalry game. I got to go with my boy Jaden Daniels. I just told you I got him on my fantasy football team. Need him to go off hard. Terry McLaurin is also on my team. I'm taking the Commanders. And I think that's definitely how, that's a legit prediction. Giants, though, the more and more I've thought about it, the Giants could be a little bit of a sleeper this year and surprise some people. So, just throwing that out there. But I'm taking the Commanders. Buccaneers, Falcons. This will be a close game. Don't take the money line on this one because this could be a very interesting close game. Rivalry game. I could see the Falcons pulling one off. They're at home. But I got to go with the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, all those weapons on offense, taking the Bucs. Bengals, Browns. A lot of rivalry games this week. I'm loving it. Now, this one could be interesting. Last year, Joe Burrow and the Bengals came out very slow to start. Burrow played in a couple of preseason games, I think, to get him warmed up so that same thing wouldn't happen last year. Bengals defense is absolute hot dog shit. And the Browns offense is hot dog shit. But the Browns defense is really good. And the Bengals defense, or the Bengals offense is really good. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think the Browns get it done against the Bengals. I really do. Not because of the Bengals offense, but because of I think the Browns offense is good enough to beat the Bengals defense. It's in Cleveland. That's a surpriser for you this week. I'm taking Cleveland. Raiders, Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots. Mike Vrabel. I mean, both these teams have brand new head coaches. There's a lot to like about the Raiders as far as like the talent they have. I just don't see them putting it together right away. I think the Patriots with Drake May pull it off in New England. Yeah, we're going Patriots. 49ers, Seahawks. This one could be a toss-up. This one could legitimately go either way. I'm going to lean toward my gut and go with 49ers, but it's in Seattle. I could see this easily going to Seattle side, but my official pick will be the Niners. Titans, Broncos, do you even have to ask? Broncos by 50 fucking points. I don't actually believe that, but I do believe that the Broncos will ultimately dominate this game and prove why they should be a threat, even though they are playing the Titans, who technically shouldn't be that good of a team. Titans do have some weapons though, so I'm not dismissing the Titans, like what that they have some talent on that team. I just think it's in Denver. We're going to do better. Lions, Packers, great game. This should probably be the Sunday night game. Actually, I lied. I just saw what the Sunday night game is. Fuck the Lions and the Packers. This is going to be a great game, though. Like, I'm actually legitimately psyched to kind of keep an eye on this one. Lions, Packers. Packers just got Micah Parsons in an absolute train wreck of a trade situation for the Cowboys. Can't believe they traded a generational talent like Micah Parsons. Of course, they would trade him to the Packers, the team I'm going to watch in Denver in December. That's the game we're going to, is Packers-Broncos. And they just gave them an all-star pass rusher. Lions-Packers, I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. It's in Lambeau. Lions just lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators. Again, toss-up. This could go either way. I'm going to go with the Packers, though, to start off the season. Lions, they're coming off a devastating playoff run. Might be a little bit hard to recover immediately from that. Texans, Rams. If Matt Stafford is solid, if he's healthy, the Rams are going to be a problem this year. But because I don't know that for a fact, I'm going to go with the Texans in this one. And now we reach Sunday Night Football, and now you can understand why I was so immediately reversed on... Oh, dude, I can't believe I get to watch the Broncos, and then following that, I get to watch this absolute banger of a Sunday night season opener. Ravens at Bills. This could be the AFC Championship game at the end of the season. It won't be, because the Broncos are going to be in there. But legitimately, these are two of the toughest teams in the NFL. I gotta go with my boy Josh Allen in Buffalo. Gonna be a tough game. No guarantees there. Ravens could easily win that game. But my heart goes with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to take the win on Sunday night. And then on Monday night, we have the Vikings and the Bears to cap off the week of football, the amazing week of football. I don't even know why I said I was just going to relax on Monday. Of course, I'll sleep in. But I'm going to go watch Monday Night Football, too. Fuck yeah, I am. You better believe I am. Vikings, Bears. All my Vikings friends are going to fucking hate me for this, but I'm taking the Chicago Bears. It's in Chicago. They're going to look a lot better this year than they did last year. I got nothing against the Vikings. I got to see it before I believe it when it comes to J.J. McCarthy. They got a great offensive squad. It all just hinges on the quarterback. And I think the Bears have a pretty stout defense. So that's what it comes down to for me. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears. So that is the weekly picks. I don't know if I'm going to do it every week, but that's week one picks. I wanted to do it. I'm all dressed up for it. I'm excited as hell. We got a lot of great football to watch. And there you go. Now you know where I stand on all these. I would tell you what to bet, but trust me, you don't want my advice. You're probably going to lose your money. And I don't know what the money lines are, or what the spreads are. Also, oh yeah, how could I possibly forget, since we're on the topic of football, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Who gives a fuck? I mean, my God. I know. She's the biggest fucking superstar, human being, musician, whatever. She's the biggest person on planet Earth. She's the most popular person on planet Earth. I understand. Her whole fucking story is that she's a hopeless romantic and all of her boyfriends were pieces of shit, and that's what fueled her music, was her heartbreak all these years. And finally, after all this time, she's found her true love. Again, who gives a shit? Do you know how many, it's the obsession, okay? The pure obsession that people have over this person. Like, she's just a person. Yeah, she does some fantastic stuff. She's talented. She's a global superstar. But why are you so invested in her life? Like, I have musicians, I have athletes, I have entertainers that I am very, very much influenced by and inspired by and have, like, great admiration for, okay? I couldn't tell you a single one of them, like, if they're, some of them I don't even know if they're married or not, or if they have kids or what. I don't give a fuck. Who cares what their marital status is? Who cares that it's this story of she finally found love, and you know what it is? It's all these losers out here who want to vicariously live through her. It's all these people who also can't find love, who also are just unhappy and sad and lonely, and now they see their hero finding love, and now it's given them hope that maybe they too can find love. Now, listen. There's nothing wrong with being a huge fan of somebody's music and being, you know, a diehard. Look at me. Look what I'm dressed like, right? I am a diehard Broncos fan. If Bo Nix, I mean, I think the guy's already married. See, and I wouldn't even know. I don't know what his wife looks like. I don't know any of it. But if he were to get engaged or, like, you know, propose to his girlfriend or whatever, and they got married and they had this elaborate wedding, you know what I would do? Wouldn't even have known. Wouldn't shed an ounce of care. And I love Bo Nix. I love my Broncos. You know what I mean? It's okay to be a fan. It's okay to be obsessed sometimes. But when you take that obsession so far as to just, like, some of the reactions I've seen to this proposal, I don't think those people would give the same reaction if their family member got engaged. They wouldn't give the same reaction if their best friend just got engaged and asked them to be the maid of honor or the best man. Their reaction to Taylor Swift getting engaged is less than if they got proposed to. It's unreal. Some professor fucking canceled class because he said he said that he wouldn't be able to focus during class because of Taylor Swift. Like, again, like, by the way, let me just go ahead and say this. Congratulations to them. I'm happy for them. Whatever. I'm glad that you found love. I'm glad that you guys are legit, like, tying the knot and taking the next step in your relationship. But guess what? I can be happy for you and also not give a single shit in the same breath. Nothing would change my life any more or any less than finding out that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are married or getting married. Their wedding day, they might as well sell it to pay-per-view. It's going to be bigger than the fucking royal weddings. Like, you know how they televise the royal weddings all the time? And people, like, literally, the obsession with the royal family. This is the new royal family. This is America's royal family, is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And literally, they'll sell the fucking wedding on pay-per-view and make a boatload of money. More than they already have, which is unreal. But hopefully the wedding happens soon, because Travis Kelce, that'll be the last fucking ring that boy gets. So, lock it in there, putty. You know, he wanted one more ring, and he knew he wasn't going to get it on the gridiron, so he had to finally pop the question and get engaged to Taylor Swift, because that's the last motherfucking ring that he's getting. I'm telling you right now. Legit, though. Like, for real, congratulations. Happy for him. Don't care. Don't care. These people that just lose their minds. And like, this obsession with celebrity culture and just celebrity, like, idols and things like that, it's honestly disgusting. And when you have a bigger reverence for a musician or a actor, or, you know, an entertainer or whatever, if you have more reverence for them than you have for your own family, guess what? I think you would admit this also. Your life fucking sucks. If you're finding, you know, go out and make a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, I don't come from the most stable family situation. I definitely have issues with my family and things like that, and I don't get along with everybody, and I don't see eye to eye with everybody. And there probably are, you know, artists that I've been more inspired and more, like, I felt a connection with more than some of my family members. I would never trade my family in over some stranger who I don't even fucking, you know, who inspired me to make a couple songs, but I'm not gonna fucking sell my sister out so I can, like, shake Maynard James Keenan's hand. That seems unreal. So for all those people that are just like, you don't understand me like Taylor Swift does. Oh my God. You're a loser. But have fun watching the wedding. Have fun paying $99.99 for that wedding. And I guarantee you, for real though, if they sold that thing for $10, or if Netflix bought the rights to broadcast the wedding, it would make an ungodly amount of money. And you know it. And that's probably why they will actually do that. Mark my words. Remember this moment when I said that they're going to have that wedding on pay-per-view? It's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen on pay-per-view, it will be recorded and it will be sold like as like a documentary or as some kind of like special event. You know what I mean? Like, it will be pre-recorded and it won't be live, but some bullshit like that is 100% going to happen. All right. Moving on to other things that irritate me and piss me off. Hey, Billings. City of Billings. When are we going to get done with this fucking road construction? Now, I know every single year it's the same thing. It's the same run-on joke of, oh, it's not summertime. It's not, the season isn't summer season. It's construction season. I know. And I know that roads have to be worked on, and I know things have to be maintenance and things like that. Fine. But does it have to take forever? The one on Broadwater, I'm not even joking you, I was this close to breaking my sanity. Like, they got the whole thing done, and it took maybe a week and a half, right? And I thought, that's not too bad. I can deal with a week and a half. They got it all done. Everything was nice and paved. And then they weren't done for another 2 weeks after I thought they were done. After what appeared to be a finished project. Oh no. They had the cones all set up and barrels in the middle of the intersection in certain places. None of it made any sense. You're in 1-lane traffic on a 5-lane street. Busy ass 5 o'clock traffic. Can't get anywhere. Can't take a left turn on any of these streets. Just absolute madness. In the meantime, all these cones are still up. Nobody's working on anything. So hey, why, when you were finished with the project, did these cones stay up for an extra 2 fucking weeks for nothing? I didn't see anybody working on shit for 2 weeks. And all we had to do was maneuver around these cones the whole time. And you want to know, like, that's one thing. They're done now. They finally got rid of everything's up and running. Thank God, because I was about to have a huge road rage incident at some point. Because as bad as the Broadwater one was, nothing holds a candle to what's happening on Grand Avenue right now. Between Senior High and Division, somebody's going to get fucking killed. And I'm not saying I'm doing it, because I ain't taking that road. Legitimately, somebody's going to get hit. It's so dumb the way they have this set up. And it's 2 lanes on one of the busiest streets in Montana. I'm not joking you. From whatever street that is it 4th or 3rd, right after Dallas Stadium? By the time I got to Division, it took me 15 minutes. Because that light at the end, it only goes for like 15 seconds. So you only get like 3 or 4 cars in. And then you're stopping and waiting for another 10 minutes. Dude, unbelievable. I was ready to just drive off into the into the cones. Also, some lady was turning out go to the other side, ran over a cone and was just dragging it for blocks. People are fucking dumb anyway. You're already dealing with dumb drivers having to maneuver around these cones and not knowing which direction to go and not knowing what lane to be in. It's absolute madness. Fix this shit and hurry it the fuck up. For real. I'm done. Like, whenever they have to do this shit on these busy-ass thoroughfares, just put a goddamn bullet in my head. Because it's maddening to have to deal with this shit. On these busy streets during 5 o'clock traffic, bro, it's maddening. That's the only word I have for it. I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say about how much I hate road construction. And don't get me wrong, I understand. I know I like Broadwater now is awesome. It's great. I love the new paved road. It's very pleasant. Oh, by the way, here's another quick thought. I am so irritated by the fact that they switched all the streets from downtown to 2-ways. All the 1-ways are now 2-ways except for like a couple of them. I understand, like, my whole life I was bitching about the 1-ways, and now I wish they were back. Not because it doesn't make sense. Like, it makes way more sense to have these 1-way, or to have them be 2-ways, because it was just a clusterfuck already, the way it was. And nothing annoyed me more than having to, like, just, like, go down 2 blocks just to circle back to the other block, because you couldn't do a right turn or something like that. So, like, logistically, it makes more sense. The problem is, nobody knows how the fuck to drive downtown all of a sudden. Because nobody knows which lanes are which. People are going down the wrong way. There's stop signs people are just blowing right through. People are like us not going. Yeah, dude, it's not that hard, okay? I've lived here my whole life. Even when I think I'm going to get tripped up on these things, all you got to do is look at the lines. All you got to do is look at the signs. Lines and signs, baby. So, yeah, that's been quite the mess. Anyway, speaking of messes, speaking of huge blunders, Cracker Barrel. I know it's already been probably discussed ad nauseum at this point, but I had to get my 2 cents in about Cracker Barrel and the changing of the logo. Okay, so unless you live under a rock, you may have already heard, because there's been endless memes about this. Which, by the way, hilarious that they're doing that. Cracker Barrel decided to have a branding change. They redesigned the logo, taking away the iconic old man and the barrel. The cracker and the barrel. They took them away. I believe they cited... I can't remember if they cited it as racism or like some kind of colonialism or something like that. It's just funny that like the white guy is now considered racist. I don't know if it's because was he a plantation owner? Like, what's his... Well, I don't know his story. I don't know nothing about him. But I believe they cited it as some kind of like... I don't want to speak out of turn here, you know. I don't know if that's exactly true. Maybe that was just a lot of the jokes that were being made. Where like he was joining Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben in logo heaven. But everybody fucking flipped out about this. Everybody freaked out. They were pissed, rightfully so, because I personally am like a fan of classic nostalgic logos. You know what I mean? Like, I like logos that have some character to them. And my beef, like, everybody was just freaking the fuck out about the fact that they removed the old man in the chair and the barrel. That's what people were pissed off about. Me, on the other hand, I was more curious as to why more people weren't raising a stink about how absolutely god-awful the new logo was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the classic logo. That's not... Them taking that away isn't what pissed me off. It was the absolute bastardization of the logo and making it this bland, fucking, just generic logo. Like, that's what every logo has become. They're just plain, monotone, no flair, no again, character to any of them. That's what was more offensive to me, was like, that's what you're changing it to? Is this piece of shit? This bland piece of shit? And their stocks just went... Pew! And I do believe they have course-corrected now and are bringing back the classic logo. This thing did not last very long, this rebrand, because they got absolutely bullied into keeping the logo. And that, my friends, is where the internet rules, where the people's voices can actually be heard. This is democracy right here, is the masses coming together and being so pissed off at a company for making a change that they have no choice but to change it back. The millions of dollars I can only imagine that Cracker Barrel pumped into this ad campaign or trying to rebrand this ad or their logo, hopefully they didn't immediately start buying like new uniforms with the new logo and new, like, you know, merchandise and things like that. Hopefully it was just like a soft launch. They just redesigned the logo and wanted to see what people thought, because if they did do all that and now are having to backtrack, that's a huge bath that they're taking with that loss. So anyway, that, like, the same thing that happened with Sonic the Hedgehog, everybody was like, what the fuck is this? Change it. And then the studios spent millions of dollars changing it, and it worked out for them because they actually got a decent franchise out of it. Nobody would have gave a shit about it if it would have been that other design of Sonic. Nobody would have cared at all. When the public can come together and bitch about something so insignificant that the company or the studio or anything like that, the executives have to course correct and go back to what was before, it's just magic. It's beautiful. I love seeing it. Cracker Barrel, by the way, like, never been a huge fan. Like, their breakfast is good. I think one thing I'll say about them is I think their syrup is way too sweet. And come on already with the store. The store sucks. Like, there's nothing in there I would ever buy. I'm sure when I was a kid, I wanted all the toys and I wanted all the bullshit. Everything's so overly priced and it's junk. Like, none of it's worthwhile. This is a place for old people to go and collect knickknacks, things that they don't need, but they for some reason feel like they need, and to eat a mediocre meal. Anybody out there who is a fan of Cracker Barrel, I apologize. It's fine. You know, on like, if we're ranking restaurants of all time from like an S tier to a F tier, I think Cracker Barrel very safely falls into a C. It's literally as mid as you can possibly get, which isn't bad. You know, it could be a lot worse. I'll tell you that right now. But it is mid. I wouldn't even put it up into B. It's a solid C. But, okay, what if, though? What if this whole rebrand thing was just to get people, like, talking about Cracker Barrel again? That would be genius. Wouldn't make sense if they were going to, like, lose a bunch of money in their stocks, and their stocks plummeted. But I do feel like people rallied around it, and, like, maybe they went and supported Cracker Barrel more. I don't know. That would be an absolutely genius marketing play if that was the case. But I think it was completely accidental. Last bit of business here before we let you go, before we get out of here. As I was maneuvering through horrible Broadwater traffic to get to the gas station, I was filling up a car. And I noticed a gentleman standing at kind of by the door. He was unchaining, or he was unlocking his bike lock that he had left outside, and he was preparing to ride off on his bike. And I took a look at him, and I just thought to myself, like, just the way this gentleman was dressed was very specific. And it made me think to myself, why is it, with all the internet, with all the information out there, with all everything, why do certain people still choose to dress into their stereotype? Now, if you saw the guy, you would understand what I'm talking about. Like, very cholo vibe. I'm talking like the slick back hair with the dark glasses, the long jean shorts that are basically just short pants. Like, it's literally this much off the ankle, but they're still like those long jean shorts. High socks. The button-up shirt, like the button-up flannel. I mean, you can just picture this person, correct? Like, you don't need me to describe them any further. And, like, the bike was even, like, right from a fucking movie type situation. Like a hood movie. Like, this guy was... He knew what he was doing. Like, he dressed himself. And it was very cholo vibes. And I'm just like... And that's exactly the energy that this guy gave off. So I'm like, you're just dressing into your stereotype. And this goes, I mean, I could be saying the same thing about a blonde-haired white boy who wears a polo and has a sweater tied around his waist with fucking pleated pants and some fucking loafers. Like, you're clearly a country club boy. You're clearly like a rich kid, daddy's money type of kid. Like, if that's the way you dress, I mean, you could talk about the meatheads that where, it's not really a thing anymore, but all the guys that used to wear the tap-out shirts, you wear the backwards hat, the tap-out shirt, the Oakleys. It's like you are dressing like what everybody already knows you are. And I just never understood that. Like, I feel like I dress pretty normal, I don't really dress any one way or the other. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I dress like a stereotype. Maybe if you took one look at me, you'd know that I was like in a band and that I'm a big sports guy. Now, obviously, if I dress like this, you're going to have a different opinion about me than if I dress like my actual daily normal routine. But I'm talking about like the very specific looks out there, Like, if you're a black guy and you wear, a t-shirt and jeans, or my favorite, honestly, is the opposite. Where, like, you'll get a black guy that's dressed like a cowboy. I love that. I think it's just a breath of fresh air. Or you get a white guy with dreads and or like cornrows and is dressed like a fucking like a gangster. I'm like, dude, that's hilarious. Like, you're completely stepping out of what people would assume you would be. Or you get the I don't know what would be like an Asian guy that's all like rock starred out, you know what I mean? Like spiky hair and fucking like the goth bracelets and shit. Like, that is just chef's kiss. That's another one. Like, goth chicks. You can always tell the goth chicks that are actually goth chicks and the ones that are just like cosplaying as goth chicks. So those chicks aren't really playing into their stereotype, but the real life goth chicks are. You know what I mean? And I just love. I think it's funny when people do it, especially with all the information out there. It's like, who are you trying to fool, guy? Like, are you, like, you're really just so this kind of guy that you don't give a fuck that you are just dressing exactly the way that people would assume you dress. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's hilarious. Anybody in a business suit is just funny too, because I don't think anybody is like tailor-made for, like, that's not like a really stereotype. I guess, I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Anyway, that should do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. Reminder, one more time. Come on out. September 6th, Pub Station. Going to be a great show. Doors open at 6:30. Shows at 7. Have some fun. I told you. Have a little fun. Put a little extra fun in your life. And that's a great way to start. And then, of course, we got football, man. Football's back. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this weekend. It's going to be an absolute blast. And I'm going to be having a lot of fun. So, until then, we'll see you next time here on Life's a Garden Podcast. Be good to yourself. Have a great week. And don't forget, life's a garden. Dig it. Just gotta keep on keeping on.
Why don't you talk in the microphone? I got a back right here. Back of my. Life's a garden, dig it.